All right, y'all. Let's talk about some slot cars today. As a matter of fact, I've got a pile here of ones that, well, three of them I got a ways back. But they're 132s, and I haven't run any 132s since summertime. And probably won't, well, I got some other pieces coming that I want to test out. So I might do a small layout on the floor, but I like to run them outside on the big board or on the driveway, on the concrete. So, but I do have another wireless rig coming from Scale Electrics. So I got my Brian's bargain. I believe it was either number 8 or I think it was number 8. And it's 10 Ninco cars he had for $139. And I thought that was an outstanding deal. So that's $14 a car. And I don't have any Nincos right now. I have several Carreras, several Scale Electrics, some SCX, and of course y'all may remember when I got the Brian's bargain with the 20 fly cars. That was a great deal. There were only a couple that were repeats and 2 cars that didn't have any kind of racing paint scheme. They were just street cars or whatever, which I'm not really a fan of. I wouldn't go and pick a car in 132 that didn't have some kind of lively paint scheme. So I do like the rally cars. And the Brian's bargains, I did open it and I looked through them already to make sure there was only one case that was cracked and one car that was loose in there. And another one had an axle that was loose. I went ahead and opened it up and made sure it wasn't broken, but it's okay. So start with the oldest ones first that I got. Now, this one is a Pioneer. Y'all may recognize it. Used to be on a little known TV show back in the 70s and 80s. The old General Lee. Now, it's funny because the site, RC Superstore, I was shocked. I bought a couple cars from them before, and I was on their email list, but I was just shopping for one of their Charger kits that wasn't painted, and I was thinking of doing one because my buddy Don, he's done a couple, and he did a great job on the 1/64 scale. He actually, I think he got decals that were 1/87th size, so they would fit on the Auto World bodies. But he did one that came out really good. Pretty much looks factory. And I do have the General Lee in the old original ideal slot car. Those cars that I say are less than ideal, they are hands down the worst slot car chassis ever invented that I've come in contact with anyway, and I've run into quite a few. But this one, I'm not going to take it all the way out of the package, but I'll take it out of the sleeve. Like I said, I don't plan on running any of these for a while. Comes with a little information card. 69 Dodge Charger. We got Daisy Dukes with her Daisy Dukes on. Bo and Luke in there. So this one's pretty detailed. But like I said, when I was searching for them parts, I was about ready to order, and then I got an email and it said they had the 69 Chargers. And when I clicked on it, this is the first one I saw. It was $69. Maybe generally more than I would pay for 132 cars. But if you've seen these on eBay, people wanted crazy money for them. Used, beat up, and they didn't have the orange one very often. They got all the other varieties, the ghost one and the black one and the dirty one. But so when it was there, I was like, well, I had to have it. I bought another car, or some other car pieces, actually, some armatures and think I bought a chassis or something from them also, because they got free shipping on 99 bucks or more. So I bought a few other items so that I wouldn't pay extra 10 or 15 for shipping, and I got some repair parts. So that's the General Lee, really good one. I'm the first Pioneer car I've ever bought. I see a lot of people speak highly of them. And then at my local hobby town, where y'all see I get all the deep discounted items. Now this one wasn't discounted, but it's a Revell monogram. Well, this one's a monogram. Later they were also called Revell. I think they quit making them in the 2000s somewhere. So I saw this one, and with the, I'm not a Chevy fan. Most of the Corvettes wind up in my spare parts box. But I did buy 3 other of those $11 Corvettes from Tinker in that batch down there. I put them in the spare chassis box already. But I just saw this one and the red, white, and blue pattern. Riverside 75. It just looked really cool. And like I said, I did not have any monogram ones. Never owned one, so we'll see what it runs like. This one looks like it might be pretty quick. And since I had just one, I searched out eBay and found the cheapest new old stock one there that was a Ford Shelby GT 350R. And this I got for 45 bucks shipped. And so again, a little more than I would. I always buy them when they're on sale. But when you do it that way, sometimes you don't always get, you don't get the coolest pick. And this one was pretty cool. So the only thing been better might have been white with a blue stripe or blue with a white stripe. But I do have a Carrera 132 that's blue with the white stripes, and I think the number 76. It's a modern one, but this one is really cool. Kind of looks like that Steve McQueen Mustang, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, that's a good looker right there. So I got 2. I like to have 2 of the same. So when you run them on the track, you got a relative, comparison. You don't have, although I don't know that any of them are super fast. Those flies are really fast. I gotta say, those are really quick. And the Carreras are nice quality, but they're generally a lot heavier. They're a little bit larger in scale than most of these others. Although that Pioneer Dodge is pretty large. And then off of Amazon, I got this number 2 Scale Electrics Cheers car. These Scale Electrics NASCARs, they're like, you can find them between 20 and 29 bucks shipped on Amazon. I had the blue one that I got one time when I returned the item and they gave me a credit. I picked the blue gasoline one. I've run it last springtime on the single lane track, and I was pretty impressed. For a cheap car, no headlights, the details it's not horrible, and they're what do you call it? They're like non-sponsored NASCARs. Like, I think this is supposed to be like the Coors car or Coors Light. I'm not sure, but yeah. So I got another one to run with that one. That one was pretty cheap. And then this one I just got is another one from Amazon. and it's a little more expensive. It was, I think, $30 for this one, but it's not in the carded box. It's in their standard display case, but it's an AMX Hornet. So I have a lot of these older 70s and earlier NASCAR style cars. Thought I would get another one. And don't see the AMXs that much. And the Hornet's always been a pretty cool car. And again, it's got a great paint scheme. And I wonder if it is a 77, because the number is 77. But one of you AMX people might know. But, well, AMC, they're the guys that used to own Jeeps too, back when they were still pretty good. So that one's pretty sharp, I like it. So I'll move these ones out of the way right quick. And go for Brian's Bargains next. And the first one is one of his 40% off ones. Now this car I've been watching at my local hobby town. They had one on the shelf in case it's been dropped, and it's cracked. The hinge is all messed up, and the car was loose in there, and I put the thing was laying on the ground. I put it back on there and put it on the shelf, and I've been waiting for them to discount it, but they haven't. And it's a Ford Mustang. Gotta love a Mustang. That red and gold hood. What's it say? The Allen Man Racing. And but Tinker had this one on sale for $24. And the last discount car I got at my hobby town was $20, and they discounted it because it had been dropped, and one of the axles was loose inside. It didn't take much, and there was a 70s Chevy Camaro, the orange one with blue numbers. But this one, that one's pretty sharp. And that was that Pro Tinker. His Scalextrics seem to be some of his most expensive ones. I know his digital Carreras are pretty expensive too. And I did buy some digital Carreras from him back when he had his Trump 47 sale. But he ain't really had a good sale on Carreras lately. But now we're on to the Ninco. 10 card Ninco, and this one is a seat Corsica 4-wheel drive. And this one I did have to open it up. The front axle was loose. It's an inline motor, and it is a front wheel drive. You'll see them front wheels turning when I turn the back wheels. See right there? Let's see. Yeah, it's just got got a pulley on each axle and not a belt, like a cassette drive belt. And but I do like these little rally cars, and detail looks pretty good on this. Look, the wings and stuff, it looks a little more solid than a fly car. And I'm not complaining about the fly cars. I got those dirt cheap, like $10 a piece. And they are zippy, but sometimes they do need a little work, and you need to change those thin braids that came with them for better contact. And this looks like the same story. This has a spring-loaded flag on it, guide flag, and I'll be running it on SCX track, so that flag won't be a problem. And so that's a good looking. I like that one. That's a great color. Blue broken up by the yellow. Great contrast. The only cars I don't like on any scale is black cars. Some of them are really cool, and I have some, but they stay on the shelf mostly because they're just too hard to see on the track. And next, we got the Fiat Punto. First, I was thinking Pinto, and they just couldn't spell right, but no, it's the Punto, whatever that may be. You know, Punto Viejo. Yeah, y'all don't mind my Spanish enunciation. It ain't good. But this one, I don't know if that one is not a four-wheel drive. It has a longer inline motor, so I don't know if that means it's quicker. This one has the short inline. It actually feels heavier than that other car. Hopefully it's mostly lower weight. That's the front axles, which are loose floating. Feels like a cracked pinion in there or something, where there's a spur or a flash on it. I can get about one revolution and it just comes to a stop. I could force it. Yeah. So we got one with a cracked pinion already, so that'll need a little surgery. Or like I said, it could just be a burr on the plastic. I believe the crown gear is definitely a plastic crown gear. The pinion gear is likely plastic also. But I have a spare parts box of Fly Motors, Carrera motors. I should be able, this is an MC2 motor. Like I said, I haven't had any Ninco cars before. That one is pretty cool. Both of them very. Fiat is quite a bit smaller. You look at the two sizes. It's almost as small as them minis. Let's do this. Next we got a Renault Clio Super 1600 show car. So one of them ones that will likely become a parts car. I think there's another, yeah, I see another one right there that's a racing version. It's probably worst case scenario, it's gonna donate the pinion because this one is smooth in both forward and reverse. Not as much axle float on that one. Does have the spring-loaded flag and the longer Ninco. I can't see the model number. It's got bright painting on that motor, but it's the longer can motor. Looks like it's got some plastic shocks. Yeah, there's a little suspension in both of them. Not four-wheel drive. Those shocks don't look like they'll hold up very long. Probably should glue them right off the bat. I don't know. One of you Ninco experts could tell me if we got any here in the States. Like about every Ninco video I ever saw on YouTube seems to be Spanish people, and then I get mobbed by all my ads turn into Spanish ads. Think I'd learn a word or two. And then we got a very nice looking BMW. Now I got two different BMWs. They look very much like this, that are, it's an angle winder. long can motor, NC2, like that other one. Quite a bit of front axle float. And what feels like a not good pinion somewhere. Getting about one rotation, and then it's got a hitch. So I'm betting that either that axle is loose. It looks like it's not seated on one side. It's close to rubbing on the body. But you can hear that. So it's definitely got a hitch in there. It's gonna need a little working, but I am curious as to the size of that compared to a fly BMW. Let me grab one. I think this is. I think I got the number 42 in fly. Here's the number 66. They are very close in size. Fly car looks a little larger. It's definitely larger, not by much. The wheelbase is actually very close. Fly, of course, is that fly front wheel. It's not front wheel drive, but it has a motor up front and then has like a prop shaft that runs back to the back, like a drive shaft to the rear inline pinion and crown gear. I have one of those Fiats that I had modified. I cut it out and put a Carrera mount in the back and changed the motor and rear axle pinion gear and stuff, and it runs pretty good. But I just wanted to see the relative comparison of the two. Like I said, I believe I have the fly in this paint scheme with the number 42. And the roof detail is a little bit different on the two. This one's just smooth. That one has a little, the fly car seems to have a little more details to it. That back wing or spoiler feels a little stronger on the Nincos. Like I said, that yeah, definitely going to take that apart and look. Yeah, that don't sound real good at all. Put this fly car back. That's 4 of them so far. Then we got a Citroen Saxo JWRC. Maybe this one's 4-wheel drive. This case has not been opened before. It is not 4-wheel drive. Has a smooth gear mesh. That longer NC2 Ninco motor. Tell you the truth, I think these little ones should be pretty quick. Feels like most of the weight is the motor. But that's a really nice yellow and red. Good contrast, nice and shiny. You got two drivers in there like that. I think them other ones did too. Yep. That's right. So a bunch of rally cars here. I like that one quite a bit. And then we got a street car. Like I said, this is the one that was loose, case is busted, back wings off of it. And it's another BMW. Now I can't get it off. There we go. Yep, another angle winder. It has that strange hitch to it too. I'm wondering, I bet the axles, I'm gonna pop that up, take that apart right quick. I bet that, because this one I know was dropped. The case is cracked and it was loose. The rear spoiler's off of it. We just have a look right quick and see what's going on with that. And it's definitely been apart. No, maybe not. Yeah, you're gonna have to look that crap back. One of them teeth don't look too good. Have to get my, the axle is in. Can't rip. I don't know, I really don't see any reason that that should be malfunctioning. Probably gonna have to pop those gears off and have a real good look under the head magnifier. Now I can't get it back together. You know what, I'm gonna leave that one apart. Guess I'll look at it later, but like I said, this is the BMW street car. I will say that cockpit plastic looks pretty thin. Maybe it's lighter weight than, like, the Carreras have real heavy plastic in them. If you wanted to lighten them up, you'd probably do some work with the Lexan cockpit or something. But, so, two BMWs, one with a racing paint scheme, one has a street car. They both have pinion or crown gear issue or alignment or something. I did notice when I was turning the wheel on that one while it was out, when you turn it forward, it looked like the motor pinion is trying to push it outwards. So there's a stopper on that axle, looks like, or spacer I'll call it. It might be a little out of whack. I'll figure that out. Like I said, I've never got a pretty strong magnet. Never messed with any Ninco cars yet, but you know, they're all pretty much the same. That's the first time I've gotten any angle winders. I got some side winders. Some of those scale electrics are sidewinders. Some of the fly cars are sidewinders. Another one that has never been opened. And man, it's got some good looking rims on it. This is a Citroen Saxo. Yeah, that's like this yellow car, except the street version. Kind of neat. But it can become a parts car. Or maybe put some decals on it and turn it into something else. I don't know. Not a bad looker. Nice bright blue. So we got 2 Saxos, 2 BMWs. What else? All right, here's something different. Looks quite interesting. A Mercedes CLK DTM car. The one that ain't been opened. That's promising. That means Brian hadn't had it out as a display car. You see how he tears them apart sometimes. I think he believes they're tougher than they really are. Man, sometimes that little key. So this is inline with that NC2 long motor. Has a real nice gear mesh, both forward and reverse. Pretty good looking car. Mercedes-Benz CLK DTM. A lot of black on there, but at least it's got the silver contrast, so it's not too horrible. Number 3 car. Mobile 1 on the wing. Look like the same wheels that are on the Carrera Mercedes that I have. So there we go. So I don't have a bunch of the Mercedes either, but we got a Porsche 911. Looks kind of funny in yellow. But that one, the inline, oh, this 4-wheel drive, look at that, y'all. Porsche 911 4-wheel drive. The number 0 car. Pirelli. That's a nice bright one you'll have no trouble seeing on. So I'm guessing this is, yep, Porsche 911 Rally. 4-wheel drive. Now I wonder what driving these on the track is like, because it's like having 2 live axles, like driving a 4-wheel drive go-kart with no differential. I don't know if y'all drove go-karts much with a live axle in the rear. They don't turn real good. They fight you. But I wonder if it'll be that same effect. Might be kind of a, it might appear to bounce in a turn actually. Might have to see if I can film it and run it back in slow motion, see what it looks like going around a corner. But it's a good looker. I don't have a lot of Porsches. I might have one other, as a matter of fact, that I can think of. And this is another Mercedes CLK in a different paint scheme. But that's, this one's and all white. That's very nice. I like that. Got a little, in the Army, we used to call that white junk on the rubber on the gas mask bloom. I don't know what it is, but it's definitely means it's real rubber on those tires. That's the first one I saw with it looking like that. So yeah, the case on this one had been opened, but another Mercedes. Service 24 hour, number 24 car. Got their number right there, which I'm sure is nobody's real number. But that's all right. R-Core. Another Mobile One sponsored. So we got a few DTM style racers. 1, 2, 3, 4 rally cars, and 3 street cars. So I'm very pleased with that. I think it's an excellent deal for that price. And I'm gonna go ahead and do some further investigation on this, but I won't keep y'all any longer. It can't be too exciting to see what's wrong with a brand new car. But you do, when you get these cars, you know, before you even run them on the track, you should, you know, do a good physical inspection. And if you feel anything, any hitch in it or whatever, just take it apart and have a look. Because a lot of the scale electrics, I found them with the rear axles dislodged or whatever, and I think this particular case holds up well in a drop. It'll show a crack or whatever, but if it hits hard enough, one of them axles is gonna pop loose. Usually not the front one. Oh no, it's because they got float like this one. The Carrera ones also are. They're pretty much fixed. So, well, that's about it, y'all. That's all the 132 goodness for today. Bunch of good looking cars at a great price. I don't know if you still got that Brian's Bargain going, but that's pretty much what you can expect. I saw him pack somebody's live, and man, he put a lot of good ones in there. There were no repeats. I didn't see any street cars. But when he fired that up, I ordered it even before he had any shown any cars, because I already knew I didn't have any Nincos, and I wanted to have some, but I didn't feel like ordering any old ones off of eBay or whatever. His individual prices are a little high on them, but I'll let you know how that goes. We'll see how they run in the springtime too, or maybe a little later, and if I get a good day. Y'all take care.